Now you have got a lot more information on this than I will, so I'm going to shut up a little bit, which is hard for me. But we're going to be talking about something recent in America, the
Spy
Chinese
balloons.
spy balloons. There we go. Take me through it.
Well, if you have been living under a rock for the last week, there was this big balloon shape that was floating through the sky of America. It was apparently there for like over 6 days, floating around, just cruising around, and they eventually, Biden and that decided enough was enough and decided to shoot it down. Um, yeah, so if you can see, it traveled over Alaska and
This is
went
what
through
you sent
Canada.
me.
And yeah, the Chinese claim that it went off course, and it was just a weather balloon. Um, I'd like to say that I think it is true, that it was just a weather balloon. And I think the media is pushing it out there that it was, some kind of spy propaganda from China, just to raise more tensions of what's going on with the Russia Ukraine situation. Um, but yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me when you look at how cheaply these balloons cost. Because one of these balloons to make is probably 100 grand or so,
Hmm.
um, and it's literally just made of like picture like a thin plastic bag kind of material, um, and they use like helium or stuff like that, and they um, they put it up, and I think they had like solar panels attached to it and stuff like that.
Assume
Um,
that have people controlling it on the Chinese end as well.
yeah, there was some electronics which I think fell into the Pacific, I think it was, which they're trying to get back, recover the wreckage from that from after it was shot down, obviously. Um, but I mean, to the extent that it took to uh, put one of these fighter jets up there to shoot it down, it wasn't just a couple of dollars. It was well over $2-3 million. When you factor in having to pay these pilots, the jet itself, the fuel they had to basically shut down an airport, and have delays through the whole thing. They had
So the
to
US lost.
yeah, they
Yeah.
had to have another plane that was up there basically tracking it to block all the computer things that it was the data that it was receiving and putting out. So it was quite an expensive operation,
Hmm.
just to get rid of a little balloon. Not so little because it was the size of three school buses.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like there's apparently, could be tens to thirties of these things up there, that we don't know about. So how do,
I think
like, what was your initial thoughts, Dan, when you heard about this coming out?
well, I know that they used these kind of things in World War II, but I didn't really think of it at the
Yeah, because
time.
it was Japan, wasn't it? That actually,
Japan used them
yeah,
as part of their process, and I think because of the fact it's cheaper, you can try to avoid radar as much as possible. So I think they've got that kind of stuff, and it can surprisingly hold a lot of weight.
yep.
I know that these ones here they said could hold 7,000 pounds, which is about 3,000 ish kilos. So what is that 3,000 kilos that it's holding? Is it just surveillance? Is it just the solar panels? Is there more to it that's been hidden from the public? That's what I'm fascinated by.
I actually think if I was to be a conspiracy theorist here, I think that they were probably trying to get over Alaska, and have a look down with their sonar radars and stuff like that, because there's a lot of oil and natural resource gases and stuff like that and minerals all through the Atlantic, uh,
Untapped.
and Antarctic. Yes, thanks for pulling me up on that. Yeah, that is yet to be discovered, and I know that I'm pretty sure the US and Russia have, you know, some ties to it, but China doesn't have any ties to it at all, besides through like different mile and oil companies. So yeah, I think
Because
yeah that way they would just basically having a look for resources through that.
don't trying to get their oil and their gas and their natural resources from Russia,
Yeah, yep,
and currently that's obviously put in a bit of a predicament with the whole war situation that's going on. So maybe they're literally trying to find ways of just sourcing it themselves, and this is one cheeky way of trying to do that.